This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you are the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.
Welcome to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon versus Legends, where we're going to take a deep dive into the lore of the Star Wars universe.
Welcome back, everyone, to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends. I am one of your hosts, Ben of Temeria, and with me today is my guest host, Psych. What's up?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, it's a good Tuesday. Good Tuesday.
Fair enough. And we just got off of a couple episodes dealing with some KOTOR figures, namely Revan and Bastila. Well, today we are starting our little side adventure with the different planets in the galaxy. And what planet to start with than the most recognized planet in all of Star Wars? And
it is the first planet you see in Star Wars.
True. Chronologically, movie-wise,
mm-hmm.
Yes, this is the very first planet we will actually see on film. And that is obviously going to be Tatooine. And I will say this before we start: this is going to be a two-parter for Tatooine. A lot of the planets might be two-parters because there's just so much rich history, specifically in Legends, compared there is in canon, with some other from planet to planet. Tatooine is one of them. There's a lot of rich history in Tatooine's Legends history. So, yeah. So let's get right into it. So Tatooine, pronounced in Javanese Tatooine, which we have the Jawa speak for the planet, which is fantastic.
That was pretty cool.
Was a desert world and the first planet in the binary Tatoo star system. It was the part of the Arcana sector in the Outer Rim territories. It was inhabited by poor locals who mostly farmed moisture for a living. Moisture.
That sounds awful. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. With the rich history that Tatooine has, I don't know how it's still like Tatooine.
Yeah. I honestly don't know anyone who should live on this planet.
No.
Other activities include used equipment retailing and scrap dealing. The planet was on the 5709 DC shipping lane, a spur of the Trellius trade route, which itself connected to the Censar run. The planet was not far from the Corellian run, had its own navigation system. So all that speech literally means that Tatooine is a pretty good hub world for junk dealing, essentially. And it's close to specific routes for traders.
It's close to all this stuff, yet it's in the Outer Rim.
Yes. Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The planet acquired a bad reputation, often being viewed as the cesspool of the galaxy due to the large number of criminals who could be found here. However, it would be nonetheless play a role in the major galactic events throughout the millennia, most notably being the homeworld of Anakin Skywalker. Which is a good and bad thing. It was also here that Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn recognized Anakin's potential to become a Jedi, and where he introduced him to Obi-Wan Kenobi, his future master and mentor. Tatooine was also the home of Anakin's son, Luke, where he lived until his early adulthood. Which, that one is a good thing. Luke being there is a good thing. Anakin being there is a good and bad thing, because you know the things that happen in the galaxy is because of Anakin's upbringing.
Yeah.
That's a whole separate conversation. So, yeah. Now we have the planet's geology. So, Tatooine is thought to have one of the oldest planets known in space, and is composed of molten core and a rocky mantle and silicate rock crust. Other notable geological features include the Dune Sea and the enormous sodium-rich desert, Mushroom Mesa, a vast formation of giant standing stones, and the Junlin Waste, a rocky region. There are settlers saying that one's eyes burn out faster by staring straight hard at the sun-scorched flatlands than by looking directly at the suns.
I would believe that. I mean, you ever looked at the Sahara and just, like, tried to stare at it?
No, because I haven't been near the Sahara.
Fair. Neither have I. But point is,
don't look directly at bright things or something that the sand reflects a giant bunch of light. It's essentially you're looking at the sun's reflection bouncing straight back at your retinas at a closer distance, so it's dealing more damage than harm than looking at the sun directly.
You take 48 radiant damage. Suck it.
Yep. So now we have the climate. So Tatooine orbited two suns, Tatoo 1 and Tatoo 2, and was covered in the desert and rock formations, so the days were extremely arid and bright, especially during double noon. In fact, it was brightly lit by the suns that form from space. It could appear to be a star itself. This was the case of people who discovered Tatooine, as they first thought Tatooine was a star until they approached and discovered it was a desert planet. The planet circled the suns far enough to develop a stable but very hot climate. Due to the extreme conditions, only a relatively mild region of the northern hemisphere was habitable, and less than 1% of the planet was covered in surface water. The average humidity level was 5.4%. One of the many extraordinary features unique to Tatooine was the mysterious mist, which rose regularly from the ground, whereas the desert stands met cliffs and mesas. Only 1% has water.
I would gladly trade the 4.5% humidity for the 50-something I have right now.
Right, yeah. The humidity there is like, oh, that's nothing. The humidity is so low on Tatooine, it's because there's no water.
There's that problem.
That's why. But there's also a problem of it having no water.
Yeah.
And then various theories of this moisture's origin was disputed by meteorologists and geologists, like water suspended in sandstone veins beneath the sand and complex chemical reactions in which it made it rise when the ground cooled, then fall underground again with the double sunrise. Yeah, so they basically milk rocks to get water.
Yep.
It's bad. I feel bad for the cantinas.
Oh.
Getting stock and all. But, I mean, all the cantinas are in the port, so.
Right. And you can recycle most waste. So.
True. Which is.
Right, I know. But if it works for astronauts, it should work in Tatooine.
Yeah, but just I don't even want to think of that. But enough with those. Now we have the history. So, kick things off, we have the Infinite Empire. So this is well before the age of the Old Republic that we know. So, the name Tatooine was coined from the Jawa name of the planet Tatooine. Tatooine was once a lush world that had large oceans and world-spanning jungle inhabited by the native and technology advanced Kumagra. against the Elders' wishes and they colonized nearby star systems, and this drew the attention of the Rakata. In 25,793 BBY, the Rakata Infinite Empire invaded the planet, conquered and enslaved the native inhabitants, and abducted many of their other conquered worlds. As the terrible plague weakened by the Rakata, the Kumagra eventually rebelled and managed to drive the Rakata off planet. In response, they subjected the planet to an orbital bombardment that glassed, which literally exactly sounds what it means. That is, fused the silica and the soil into glass, which then broke up over time into sand, and that's where we get sand. The planet then boiled its oceans away. It is possible that the Kumagra's excessive production started the dramatic climate change before the Rakatan arrived. Nonetheless, this change split the indigenous Kumagra into two races, the Gorgraphs and the Jawas. So we have know where Jawas come from. It's because the Infinite Empire are complete jerks. But then again, who doesn't love Jawas?
Several people don't love Jawas.
Fair enough. But I love Jawas because you get a Jawa companion in Star Wars The Old Republic. And he's fantastic because he just obliterates people with his ion blaster that he has, because why not?
Do you also have to check your coin purse?
No, as long as he gets paid, he's fine. He won't steal.
Okay.
So speaking of the Old Republic, now we have the Old Republic era. So in the early years, fierce battles occurred in the skies above the planet around 5,000 BBY. The fight scattered to the surface of wrecks that quickly disappeared under the sands. Tatooine was first settled by miners around 4,200 BBY. They established a large village that would become Anchorhead. Around 4,000 BBY, Jedi Knight Sidrana Dieth and her son Dace arrived on the planet. Dace Dieth spent his majority of his early life on Tatooine, being taught his initial training by his father. The planet was later represented in the Galactic Senate by Sidrana Dieth, but it was eventually abandoned by the Republic during the Great Hunt. The planet was cleansed of Terran Takic by the Jedi.
Yes. Always loved that.
Oh, I know what these are.
Yeah.
You actually fight these in the Old Republic MMO, but also in KOTOR. I know you
definitely one.
Definitely one. I think two, because you go to Korriban.
I can't remember twos, but I definitely know in one you fight the one on Kashyyyk.
Yes,
and then the one on,
it's in KOTOR 2 because of Naga Shadow's tomb.
Yeah, you get two of those. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and they sucked. But anyway, they are massive creatures that are on two legs and reptilian, force sensitive reptilian like creatures.
Yeah,
kind of look like mid between dinosaurs and dinosaur alien thing.
Pincher bugs, sort of.
Yeah.
They're ugly little bastards.
They're not little either. They're also not little.
Right.
And then, although Tatooine was deemed not worth conquering by the Mandalorians during the Mandalorian Wars, a group of Mandalorian exiles settled on Tatooine after the war, although their fate was never known. In the time of the Jedi Civil War, the planet was particularly controlled by the Circa Corporation. They were attempting to mine ore from Tatooine, although the Scorn discovered the ores had strange magnetic properties, which made the metal corrode very fast and lost useless for production. That serves Zerka right. I hate the Zerka Corporation so much.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're
KOTOR
glorified.
2 and then SWTOR.
They're glorified slave hunters.
Yes.
Slavers and everything, yeah. But it's also Zerka's fault for why the Jawas get the big sandcrawlers, isn't it?
I believe so, yeah, which we'll go right into. So,
right.
Zerka's mining involvement in the Anchorhead settlement proved fruitless, and the company began Zerka's secret weapon division on the planet due to no restrictions from the Republic. Sometime between Revan's visit and 3643 BBY, Zerka completely pulled out of Anchorhead, abandoning the secret weapons complex. Authority on the world had extreme informal control by disorganized criminals, but they were later united by a group of dissidents who called themselves the Hutt Cartel. The Republic had yet again begun to use the planet for a supply stop. Go figure.
Yep.
It becomes part of the Republic, and then the Republic just says, yep, no, we don't care about this desert planet.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And then during the Cold War, the Sith Empire also set up a small outpost near Anchorhead in the effort to discover the secrets of the Zerka secret weapons division. Sometime after the trio of the wars had ended, the Republic left the planet for a third time and completely forgotten until the Republic rediscovered it in 1100 BBY. Okay. How can you forget the planet that you actually left 3 times? I really want to know. How do you forget that?
Someone took out the backups. I mean, I don't know.
That's just bizarre to me. It's like, how do you rediscover a planet that's been discovered thousands of years prior to this, and you specifically have been settled on at one point, at multiple times, through multiple wars, which are cataloged.
Yeah.
So the Bomar Order built a monastery on the planet in 700 BBY, which the bandit Alcara, who worked at the Bureau of Ethnicity and Socialization, used to hide out in 550 BBY. Shortly thereafter, in 516 BBY, the notorious Jabba the Hutt chased Akara out of his citadel of operations and claimed the Boham monastery for his personal palace and made it the center of his empire. So that's where we get Jabba's palace. It used to be a monastery.
Also, I didn't know he was more than 500 years old.
That is a good. That's another thing. Oh, that's good. Hutts live a long time, apparently. Now that we know,
they are giant worms.
Yes, that's true. Worms can live forever. In 100 BBY, the Dowager Queen crashed on the planet at the site where Mos Eisley was later built. The crash survivors were humans from Bestine 4, who established Bestine, the capital of Tatooine, and made the first contact with the Jawas. Shortly thereafter, colonists founded Fort Tusken, which was wiped out by the Sand People 5 years after its establishment. From that point on, the humans and other species referred to the Sand People as the Tusken Raiders. Good to know. Okay. So the Sand People attacked a fort named Tusken, and then were dubbed the Tusken Raiders.
But now I've got a different question. We haven't figured out where the Sand People have come from.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Are they this other race that was mentioned earlier, the Gorfkas? Possibly, maybe.
So Anchorhead was then re-inhabited in 93 BBY. Mos Eisley was settled by humans and Rhodians in 85 BBY, and Mos Espa was settled in 80 BBY. The Sand People were at least around from 4000 BBY.
That tracks.
So the Corellia Mining Corporation brought many digger crawlers to the planet, but abandoned it as to the Republic for the intent of, and purposes. In 70 BBY, when the orbital station Taboo 3 crashed, revealing the unstable nature of the local ores from which it had been constructed, the abandoned crawlers radically changed Jawa civilization, serving as mobile fortresses for Jawa tribes searching the deserts for materials to scavenge.
So the massive diggers are only relatively speaking here, a new concept to the Jawas, but they were in vast production during the Zerka Corp 4,000 years beforehand.
Oh God! Now that you say that, because this is 70 BBY from what the info I got. But like, if you go back and play, KOTOR 1, KOTOR 2, the Old Republic, sandcrawlers are literally in the desert.
Yeah.
But if anything, that's probably a loophole they found. So a lot of you get this with a lot of legends. A lot of things don't add up because there were so many writers for so different things, books, comics, games, etc., all over the place. There was no concrete timeline at anything. So
this is true. Yeah.
From what we get in this I believe is from either a book series or comic series, probably from the 90s.
Right. Yeah.
KOTOR 1 didn't come out until 2003, so they said, sandcrawlers, we need to put these on Tatooine because that's where we saw them first in the film. So
yeah.
But yeah, I as a MacGuffin, Zerka, I just blame everything on Zerka at that point with Legends.
Yeah, fair point. Wouldn't be surprised if Zerka was like the founding of Corellia Mining Corp anyway.
True. And then, although the planet was therefore considered technically part of the Republic's Archaeus sector, the Hutts became its de facto rulers when they arrived in 65 BBY, using the planet as an important transfer point between the Chorelius and the Cornelian Run. And then in 60 BBY, Meryl Tashi established Tashi Station on the outskirts of Anchorhead. Rival Hutt Kaijiks vowed for control of the planet, notably Bastardi, represented by the Gurdara Bastari the Elder, and Jayajek, which is Jabba the Hutt. The Hutt speak Huttese is like very confusing and very wonky on its own, and it's just it's all gibberish anyway. The only way I can understand Huttese is through subtitles or translator droid. Thanks HK. But with that, we are going to take a short mid break, and we will be back with more Tatooine.
Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Unlock over $4,000 in business and travel value annually with statement credits on select purchases from brands like Dell, ChatGPT Business, Hilton, and Adobe, and other benefits. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Based on total potential value of statement credits on select purchases and other benefits, enrollments required, monthly and other limits and terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
Choice Hotels get you more of what you value. Comfort Inn, it's calling your name. Save on the stay. Oh, and free waffles are yours to claim. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
Oh, that was so weird. My sound cut off like a few seconds in the sound. Oh, it's so weird. But anyway, welcome to the mid break of the show where we talk about everything with the podcast that has nothing to do with the lore of Star Wars. And at this point, I just want to remind everyone and thank all of our patrons who support us. If you want to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/holocronhistories, where you can join, get ad-free episodes, or even join us once a month on the show. And then also you can support us through Apple or Spotify. If you leave a 5-star review on Apple with some words, we'll read it out loud on the show, as well as a nice comment on Spotify, since you can comment on each episode now. Also, you can find us on a few different Discords. So there is the Robots Radio Discord, which is the host network that we are a part of at robotsradio.net. You can find us on the the Cups and More podcast.
I think it's Cups Podcasting and More.
That Discord, where you can find all the shows that Austin and Shelby host: the Dragon Age Lorecast, Assassin's Creed, and even this podcast, the Holocron Histories. And then you can find me and this podcast on my Discord, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, where it's a Discord server for all the shows I host, with this show being Holocron Histories and the Wizarding World and the Final Fantasy Lorecast. So, yeah, join us there. We are trying to start a guild on Final Fantasy 14. It's fantastic. It's crossplay, just letting y'all know. PC and PlayStation players can play together, and Xbox will be joining us in the spring. Finally, after a decade. Anyway, that's all I have for this mid-break. Pretty short, quick, and sweet. But yeah, we're going to get right back into it.
This summer, say I do.
I am marrying a stranger.
Like never before.
Am I crazy?
It's a whole new Married at First Sight on Peacock.
Thank God I woke up in love.
With new experts.
My name is Dr. Lisa.
My name is Paul Brunson.
More couples.
This could be the start of a very successful marriage.
And more surprises.
Or maybe not.
Everything is just not enough.
You're a little bit crazy.
I don't know what's going to happen. I want my fairy tale ending.
Married at First Sight, now streaming. New episodes Thursdays, only on Peacock.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Cats, this ad is for you. Has your human ever called you picky, persnickety, choosy? If so, Perfect Bistro Cat Food is for you. With ingredients like wild-caught tuna and pasture-raised lamb, tantalizing textures, and delectable flavors that meet even the most discerning cat standards. You're not picky, you're just perfectionists. Perfect Bistro, mealtime perfection for every cat. Have your human visit perfectbistro.com.
All right. Now that we're back, we have... So, the first few things is we have the... I literally just jotted this down in the show notes. The events of Phantom Menace and throughout the Clone Wars. There's not really a way... I'm not going to dive into something like that because, one, there's too much. Two, you can just go watch it. You can just go watch the Phantom Menace and the Clone Wars movie and the TV show and get all the stuff for Tatooine on there. It's Legends and canon, so that's why I really didn't want to dive too much into it. And also, I put the original trilogy because that's where we first saw Tatooine. And let's be honest, the first only 20-30 minutes of the film was on Tatooine, and that was it. Which is a good chunk of the film.
Yeah.
But really, nothing happened.
I wouldn't say nothing.
Nothing happened. I mean, Obi-Wan found Luke, started training Luke in the ways of the Force, showed him his father's lightsaber, met Han Solo and Chewbacca, left port to go to the Death Star and all that, and his uncle and aunt burned.
Oof.
Yeah. That scene still shocks me to this day, how he shows no emotion when his aunt and uncle are burned to the bone.
Yeah.
I say, what? But okay, whatever.
I think of it as more of a
survival of the fittest
overload.
Oh, fair point.
He's just completely shuts down, and it's not the lack of an emotional response; it's the overwhelmingness of an emotional response.
And I will probably have to say, death isn't uncommon on Tatooine.
There's also that. Life is very hard on Tatooine.
So people dying and being murdered is probably commonplace because of the Hutts.
Hutts, Raiders, desert.
So we do get the important scene from Obi-Wan when they investigate the Sandcrawler. Oh, these precise marksman shots comes from an Imperial Stormtrooper, and then we actually see Imperial Stormtroopers and they can't hit a flipping thing.
Yeah. There's a lot going on there.
And the problem is, and you can go back on the theories well, Darth Vader ordered it like that. And it's okay, well, explain all the Stormtroopers later in the series that we see. We see in Rebels, that we see in freaking Mandalorian trying to shoot a freaking can and couldn't hit it when it's literally not even 5 feet in front of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's bad. Anyway, enough of my tangent with stormtroopers and their terrible shots. So we go ahead and we get to the New Republic era. So this era is not, obviously, this is not, I mean, the New Republic is in canon. But this New Republic history is vastly different from what we have in canon. And by vastly, I mean a lot, and I mean better.
Yes.
Anyway, so after the Battle of Endor, the demise of Jabba's empire caused the rival gangs of Tatooine to rage a bloody conflict with each other in every community of Tatooine for many months. Well over a year later, the criminal empire was resurrected by Jabba's father and subsequently his nephew. Thus, the local feud had ended, and Gorga had expanded the empire greater than Jabba himself due to his affiliation of the main criminal body and base in the criminal empire in his own palace. Okay, his father's name is Gorga.
Okay, I wasn't sure if Gorga meant Jabba's father or the nephew. I wasn't 100% certain who.
His father.
Okay.
Also, after the Battle of Endor, Emperor Sat Prestige?
Pastage.
Words. Built a redoubt on Tatooine called Idolin Base. Although he never used it, Idolin Base was later discovered by the New Republic's Rogue Squadron. Commander Wedge Antilles gave Escalor Loro many weapons stored in the Idolin Base. Escor left Rogue Squadron and used the weapons to create an independent guerrilla movement which liberated worlds from the Galactic Empire. As the home world of Luke Skywalker, Tatooine became something of a tourist trap as a member of the New Republic. Yeah, that alone. Oh, our greatest general and hero is from Tatooine. We should go visit. You go visit. Crap. It's literally surrounded by a Hutt Cartel and criminal organizations left and right. That's called a trap.
It's like visiting Florida now.
Don't say that. I love going to Florida, and I only go to Florida for Galaxy's Edge. I only go to Florida to go to a place far, far away.
Right.
So in 8 ABY, so this is 8 years after the Battle of Yavin, following her marriage to Han Solo, later Organa Solo traveled to Tatooine to retrieve the Aldebaran moss painting Acrylic Twilight and the Shadowcast key hidden within it. There she discovered her grandmother Shmi's diary, and with the help of her father's childhood friends, Kister
Chachani Bani.
Yeah. And W. Wald discovered her father wasn't the evil monster she thought he was and learned to forgive him.
Oh. It is actually a really good book.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, I have to do a side tangent. W. Wald is that little Rhodian kid that Anakin was always around.
Yeah.
And then in 12 ABY, the Eye of Palpatine stopped at the planet and, failing to find the stormtroopers it was looking for, looked on board a number of Tusken Raiders and Jawas, whom it tried, with no success, to brainwash into being Imperials. That same year, Luke Skywalker and Han Solo searched Jabba's palace and discovered that the Hutts were planning to build a super weapon. Which is like, why? The Hutts, you guys literally have everything you need. You don't need to make a super weapon.
Right, yeah.
No one touches you anyway. Why would you even make a super weapon? The only person who foiled your plans was a lone Jedi literally trying to find his soon-to-be brother-in-law. That's literally it.
Yeah. Which, don't get in the way of Skywalker.
No. And this goes back on Skywalkers. They're typically the cause of most things in the galaxy.
True.
See, we see a lot of strife in the Old Republic era and in the High Republic era and all that, but when it comes to the Galactic Republic and onward with Skywalkers, it just goes downhill because it just goes It gets bad. So, in 14 ABY, Jaden Korr arrived on Tatooine, and his first mission was to investigate some mercenary activity. Arriving in Mos Eisley, the Raven's Claw and the Millennium Falcon were trapped by tractor beams, and under the control of the cultists, Jaden released the ships with the help of Chewbacca. And, fun thing, you can play this, because Jaden Korr is the character that you play in Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. That one. That game. That Jedi Knight game, because there's like 3.
There's a handful of them.
Technically 4.
Yeah.
Because Dark Forces is technically part of the line. Because I think Dark Forces go into Jedi Knight, and then Jedi Knight goes into Jedi Outcast, and then Jedi Outcast goes into Jedi Academy. I think. I could be wrong completely on that. I know there's another game that you play as that ties into the Jedi Knight series. But anyway. In 22 ABY, Jedi trainees Anakin Solo and Tyra Vila traveled to the planet after Tyra's foster Tusken Raider father, Sylvian, demanded that she return. All her life she had been raised as a Tusken tribe without knowing her true parents. That day had come, but first she had to prove that she was worthy of knowing. And then during the time of the New Republic, Tatooine experienced a cycle of harsh sandstorms that damaged and destroyed several human settlements. Which, sandstorms.
Yeah.
That's why you don't make a settlement with an area that has sandstorms. Because we don't do that in the real world, because we know. Unless you're in... And I mean... Yeah. I mean, you can argue that with Egypt, but they're only... And fun fact, and you can go and play Assassin's Creed Origins and find this out yourself. Egypt's not all desert. It's only literally one part of Egypt.
Yeah. No, it's actually... It's a
actually
delta,
lush.
the river. Yeah,
there's
river
lush,
delta.
there's river, there's everything you think. It's literally where the pyramids are. That's the only part that has desert. Anyway, now we go to the Yuuzhan Vong War. This, people, is the epitome of Star Wars dark history, because it gets dark.
But it's so
bad.
good.
It's so good. It's so
good.
But it's
we
so
will never
dreadful.
get it.
Heck no, we will never get this in canon, because I don't think they were even attempting to go this dark. Now, thankfully, like, Andor does have really dark moments. And, like, I appreciate Lucasfilm, like, they're actually diving into the dark parts of Star Wars to make it more, it's like, okay, yes, this is, like, family friendly, but we do have to appease audiences, and most of our audiences are in their 20s plus. Right. So, but yeah, this is where this gets heavy. So when the Yuuzhan Vong War had begun in 25 ABY, the New Republic had lost authority on the world and so left it on its own. After the Yuuzhan Vong destroyed all life on Nal Hutta and Nar Shaddaa in 26 ABY, the Hutts of the Hutt Underground adopted Tatooine as their new homeworld in 28 ABY. During the war, Tatooine became a center of commerce due to the Yuuzhan Vong leaving it alone. So, right there, why I'm saying it gets dark. The Yuuzhan Vong literally wiped out 2 entire planets. Completely.
Oh, yeah. That was a hit.
Nal Hutta, I mean, it's mainly swamp, with the Hutts being primarily the inhabitants, but there's a lot of Hutts. And Nar Shaddaa, which, if you play any of the older games, you go to Nar Shaddaa multiple occasions, and it is a vastly...
It's like the Las
populated
Vegas
world. Yeah, it's literally Las Vegas, just with crime. More crime. I was going to say Las Vegas already has crime. More crime, most Las Vegas. It's just Las Vegas on steroids, essentially. The entire planet is Las Vegas.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And there are a lot of criminal undergrounds and criminal organizations literally inhabit it, and, the Yuuzhan Vong just comes in and wipes them all out, because they're the Yuuzhan Vong. And if you don't know who the Yuuzhan Vong are, you can go read the comics, but they're basically a species from the unknown regions that are they're not force sensitive, they're force resistant. So the force doesn't work on them. And on top of that, they're a good example of them would be kind of like the Reapers from Mass Effect, to where they use everything they have is organic.
Yeah, it's like a biomorphic organic technology that they use, and it's very much collector-esque.
Yeah, there we go. It's more like the collectors in Mass Effect rather than saying Reapers, but it's similar to the two. But yeah, and that's why they were such a drastic force in the galaxy, because they were force resistance. Everything they had is organic, so it was really hard to wipe them out with ion cannons, because none of those would work. On top of that, they were such a force that the Sith and Jedi actually came together just to wipe them out of the galaxy, because they were such a threat. And I'm telling you, that it's a feat of its own. If you come into the galaxy as a threat to both Jedi and Sith together, that's a problem.
Yup.
And then, so by 29 ABY, the Hutts returned to Nal Hutta and reclaimed the planet, and the resistant movement continued its operations on its original world during the reclamation of the Hutt space. This resulted in Gorga's empire being reduced to a sole authority on Tatooine. Eventually, in 30 ABY, the Galactic Alliance claimed the planet, leaving a question of its Dagelic empire would meet a second demise. And then, last but not least, we have the New Galactic Empire. So this is after the Yuuzhan Vong War arc. This is, I forget what time period. This is in Jason Solo's time period.
Cade
Skywalker's timeline. So, Darth Krayt, Galactic's timeline Galactic Empire, the timeline. Darth Krayt's Galactic Empire kept only a small presence on Tatooine. Small garrisons were kept in Anchorhead, Mos Eisley, and Mos Espa. The former palace of Gardula the Hutt served as Imperial Station Bravo, Moff Neve Gormia's headquarters. Sometime after his victory over Darth Krayt, Cade Skywalker landed on the planet as a fugitive. And we do talk about Darth Krayt on our Obi-Wan Kenobi episode in Legends, where Darth Krayt was actually a Jedi Padawan during the time of Anakin's Padawan days. He lives for hundreds of years because of his species, because he was actually a Tusken Raider at one point. But then, Obi-Wan finds him on Tatooine, which we go over in that episode. And if any Tusken shows skin, they are removed from the tribe immediately. They are dishonored and everything. And he literally goes off and becomes a Darth and Dark Lord of the Sith and all. And becomes a pretty decent threat in the galaxy, even though his empire doesn't last as long as most of the other empires do. He does have Darth Talon on his side, which is the red-skinned Twi'lek that everybody likes to see.
Can't imagine why.
Right. And one of my friends' favorite Sith of all time. It's I wonder why. Anyway. But that is what we have on Legends for the planet of Tatooine. Or Tatooine.
Yeah. Can't imagine why we changed it to just Tatooine.
Right. See, and now I need to have Jawanese as a legitimate language. Someone make that happen.
I'm sure someone has. I mean, Klingon's been done.
Oh, yeah. But, see, all the nerd languages were actually done by legitimate linguists. Star Wars, unfortunately, has not had that boon like most other fantasy sci-fi stuff.
True. Most of it's just
we just have
squeaky.
We just have a written language. That's all we have.
Right.
Thank you, Arabesh. But anyway, yeah, that's what we have for this week. So before we go, I will let Psych plug in his stuff before we end the show.
Right. So usually you would know me as a host for the MCU Lorecast. And that hasn't changed. But we have left the Robots Radio Network, and we've struck out to be on our own, as announced in our most recent episode of Spider-Man Far From Home. So we're taking a short-ish hiatus. It's going to be at least the month of August, might be a little bit longer. But we'll be back before the end of the year with new content, starting with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as we try to cover Marvel television. Outside of that, I've joined Scyther Audio to produce audio dramas. My first one was going to be the Avengers audio drama. But due to the strike, I can't promote that I can't post it. I can't publish it until after the strike ends, because Marvel is owned by Disney, who is a struck studio. So there's the trailer up. You can at least listen to that, give it some love, but that's about as far as it will go. So it will probably mean I will miss the 60th anniversary of the Avengers comic that came out in September of 1963. And that's the price of business, as it were. But it will be out. I'm going to continue to work on it. The episode's going to get done. I'm working on episode 2. I'm writing it right now. And you can still audition for characters at Avenger Audio Drama. That's all one word, at gmail.com. And that is it for me, really. Oh, and the Mass Effect Blue Shift, which drops on the first Friday of the month. That's still on Robots Radio Network. It's still a lot of fun. That one's still good to go.
Awesome. Yeah. And, you can find me at all my other podcasts, the Wizarding World Lorecast and the Final Fantasy Lorecast. So thank you for everyone listening to Holocron Histories, and may the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon versus Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net. You can also follow us on Twitter at SWHoloHistories and contact us at holocronhistories@gmail.com.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast! An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.